Parents in Montgomery County tell us this video got their children suspended.
Well, 17 students in all. The school calls the behavior disruptive. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin in studio with us now after speaking with frustrated parents and students about this. Amanda.
Stacey, families I spoke with tell me they didn't see anything wrong with that video. These students and parents are now concerned with them falling behind in school.
What your gun sound like, man?
My gun sound like? Yeah.
This video posted by Isaiah Ware led to multiple school suspensions at Kenwood High School in Clarksville. I asked Ware what made him come up with the question, what does your gun sound like?
People were giving me ideas to ask that, so I was like, okay. I didn't really see an issue with the video.
What your gun sound like, gang?
In the video, you hear Ware ask several students that same question, each one of them answering. One of those students suspended, Savannah Donald.
Pop, pop, pop. I was just walking with my friends from lunch, and then he said, "Do you want to be in the video?" And I said, "Yes."
In a statement to Fox 17 News, the school says, quote, verbalizing actions involving firearms at school in a non-academic context is disruptive and not conducive to a safe educational environment. I reached out to Clarksville, Montgomery County schools to ask if leaders looked into other options besides suspension. A spokesperson tells me he cannot comment on specifics of disciplinary action taken. Savannah's father, Billy Donald, is frustrated with the administration's decision.
It wasn't even anything violent. Everybody in the video was laughing and dancing, and I think they blew it way out of proportion.
Billy says he and many other parents had to leave work to come and get their students.
Suspending 17 kids that made no harm in any way, form, or fashion, no threat whatsoever to be suspended makes no sense.
Both students tell me it's going to be a substantial amount of schoolwork they now have to make up and wish the school would have thought of an alternative consequence.
Families in Montgomery County are furious after they say this video got their children suspended.
So what your gun sound like?
School administrators call the behavior in this video disruptive as teens answer the question, what sound does your gun make? What's your gun sound like? Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin is studio now with parents' concerns and the school's response tonight. Amanda.
Stacey, more than a dozen kids are still sitting at home right now, and parents continue to tell me they believe the school could have taken other action.
What your gun sound like, gang?
You know what I'm saying? My gun sound like,
Students at Kenwood High School in Clarksville answered this question.
So what your gun sound like?
It led to many seen in the video suspended for multiple days.
I do see where it could have been a problem. However, I don't see a big issue with it because these kids were laughing, they were horseplaying, they were having fun.
Michelle Choate's son, Isaiah Ware, made the video. The school suspended him for 5 days. Clarksville Montgomery County School System says verbalizing actions involving firearms at school in a non-academic context is disruptive and not conducive to a safe educational environment.
I really think that it could have been done a little bit different, maybe in school suspension, so that the kids could still have, a chance to do homework while they were still in school.
Parents and students tell us they believe the school is focusing more on this than the arrest of Kenwood's assistant principal. Clarksville police say Gary Chadwell is charged with aggravated statutory rape. The school tells us Chadwell is suspended without pay.
They're more concerned about this situation than they was about the Mr. Chadwell situation. That's what upsets me the most.
Pop, pop, pop. Savannah Donald was one of several students in the video. We reached out to the director of schools asking for an interview to talk about the school's overall response to these incidents. We are waiting for an answer.
Council members are being asked to spend $20 million taxpayer dollars to buy this piece of property on Hermitage Avenue. Now, this is a Fox 17 News Sky Eye video, the former home of the Tennessee School for the Blind. Fox 17 News has learned that council voted against buying this very same piece of property back in 2019 for $11 million. Fox 17 News' Jackie Del Pilar is live downtown after talking to city leaders about the change of heart and the difference in the money.
Yeah, we are in the south end of downtown, and if you've driven in this area, you've probably driven by this building several times. No, it was this building here that split the council back in 2019 because they couldn't agree on the future of this historic building. But now some city leaders, including Mayor John Cooper, are trying to buy the property for a second time at double the cost. A historic building in disrepair and 3 acres of land could soon belong to Nashville taxpayers. Metro City Council is considering buying this downtown property, says Councilmember Freddie O'Connell.
I think it absolutely makes sense for Metro to add it to its portfolio. I just wish we had done it 3 years ago when it was initially proposed.
If this is sounding like deja vu, it's because City Council voted against buying this property back in 2019. Plans back then included tearing down the building on site and building a new Nashville School of the Arts. Then Councilman John Cooper voted against the project, saying he opposed tearing down the historic building.
I also will vote no. Okay. Not that we don't want it, but it's such a terrible precedent for development in Nashville.
3 years later, and the mayor has changed his stance, including the purchase in this year's budget, with plans to turn it into a park. I reached out to the mayor's office asking why he changed his mind, and I'm waiting to hear back. Councilman O'Connell says there's plans underway to make it a riverfront park, but there's still a lot of questions for the property as a whole.
Some taxpayers might say they want to know what's going to happen to the property before the city invests 20 million taxpayer dollars into it.
I have been to several public meetings about proposals for Wharf Park. I have heard conversations about both generally housing and adaptive reuse, right? So there may be both some preservation and some opportunities to create housing at this site adjacent to a new park that I would say I am very supportive of.
City Council will discuss the bill at their next meeting. That $20 million price tag only covers buying the property. It does not cover any renovations to that building or any future plans for the parks.